Good evening and welcome to Raider basketball on the River Channel tonight. A Big Rivers Conference game. Eau Claire North in town to play your hometown Hudson Raiders. The starters for Eau Claire North, a senior, number 3, Sam Hurd at 5'7". A senior, 6'2", number 10, Alex Hecox. A junior, 6'2", Danny Cron. A junior, 6'5", Josh Wykes. And a junior, 6'4", Anthony Miloshewicz. For your Hudson Raiders, number 10, a freshman, Matthew Sparstead at 5'11". A 5'11" senior guard, number 13, Dan Kelly. And a 6'6" junior, number 32, Alex Herink. A 6'5" senior, number 33, Steph Smith. And a 6'3" senior, number 42, Todd Mork. Mork makes his way into the starting lineup for the first time we've seen him tonight. Got quite a bit of playing time against River Falls last week, and that was a loss for the Raiders. They fell to their Wildcat rivals 49-43 down at River Falls. Tonight, trying to get back on the winning track in the Big Rivers Conference. The Raiders are 4-8 overall and 2-4 in the Big Rivers Conference. Eau Claire North 6-9 overall, but 4-2 in the Big Rivers Conference, currently sitting in a tie for second place in the BRC. Rice Lake leads the conference 6-0 entering tonight's action. Eau Claire North tied with River Falls at 4-2. Your Raiders at 2-4, tied with Menominee for fifth and sixth place. Taking the tip tonight will be Alex Herink for the Raiders and Anthony Miloshewicz for Eau Claire North. Now these two squared off on the football field as well. Miloshewicz, a very good receiver for Eau Claire North, and of course Herink also a top line receiver for your Hudson Raiders. Herink comes down with a tip, and Sparstead will kick it out to Dan Kelly. Kelly, the senior, will bring the ball up for the Raiders. The crowd here in the East Gym, electric tonight. Pretty good crowd here. Big doings at halftime. Kelly, they get it down to Mork in the post. Mork kicks it back over to Kelly, and now back over to Steph Smith in the corner. Smith for three. He's got it. Steph Smith hits the three, and the Raiders take a 3-0 lead to start off the game. Eau Claire North will bring it up with Alec Hecox. Check, that's Danny Cron over to Hecox, and Cron, top of the key. North working the offense. Back over to Cron. And Hecox will pull up for three. No go. Pull down. The rebound is Dan Kelly. And Kelly will bring the ball up the floor. Tried to get it to Sparstead. Looked like Eau Claire North stepped out of bounds, but wasn't called. The Huskies will keep the ball. Cron will bring the ball up the floor for North. And he's going to drive the lane, pull up the layup. He's going to be fouled and will go to the line. They'll call the foul on Kelly. That's Kelly's first. Danny Cron, a junior, averaging 8.3 points per game for these Huskies. And he puts the first point in the bucket for Eau Claire North here tonight. 3-1, Raiders leading over Eau Claire North. And Cron makes it 3-2. North will set up a press and get it to Kelly. And Kelly picks up his dribble, gets it over to Herink. Herink down to Steph Smith. Smith back to Dan Kelly, and the Raiders will set their offense. Smith in the corner tried to get it down to Herink. Ball was knocked away. Smith is going to inbounds for the Raiders. 6:40 left here in this first quarter. 3-2 Hudson over Eau Claire North. Mork gives it to Dan Kelly. Kelly works it back over to Steph Smith, now to Sparstead in the corner. Sparstead works it down to Herink in the post. Herink pulls it up, can't get it to go with the follow, but Eau Claire North will come down with the rebound. North working it down into the lane, but Todd Mork comes up with the rebound, gets those elbows out and pulls the ball down. Raiders working the ball quickly down to Herink. Herink can't get it to go, but he hits the follow, and it's a 5-2 Raider lead. Cron from the wing. Kicks it back over to Sam Hurt, now over to Hecox. Cron for three. And Cron hits the bucket. Now they'll give it to Hecox, I'm sorry. Number 10, Hecox with the three there. Now Cron will come down with the ball. Steals it away. It's over to Sam Hurt. Sam Hurt down into the paint. And they can't get it in there. Hecox couldn't get it in over Herink, and now the Raiders down the court. Sparstead fakes the three, then pulls up. That's going to be no good. Eau Claire North comes down with the rebound. We're tied at 5 apiece. 5:30 left in the first quarter. Cron will set the offense. Over to Hecox now. Hecox picks up his dribble, kicks it over to Josh Weeks, and Weeks loses the handle, but it was last off the Raiders. Eau Claire North retains possession. The corner and Sam Hurt. Sam Hurt gets Sparstead off his feet. Now the Huskies rotate the ball. Will take it down the lane. Rebound, Steph Smith. Here comes Hudson. Dan Kelly waits till everybody gets down to this side. Steph Smith down to Herink. Herink turnaround jumper. No good. And it'll be Eau Claire North basketball. Steph Smith came in there. Could have been called for a foul, but the officials will just give North the ball here. We're tied at 5 with 4:45 remaining in the first quarter. Hecox with the ball in the wing. He gets a pick, kicks it back over to Cron. Cron will reset the offense. He's defended by Dan Kelly. Kelly gets him to pick up his dribble. Milosewicz now back over to Cron. Tried to run the pick and roll, well defended by Hudson. They get Herink out of the lane. They will drive down there. Herink swats it away. He'll kick it back out for three, and it's good. Josh Weeks, open look, and he knocked it down. Weeks averages 10 points a game. He's the leading scorer for North. There's Herink throwing it down, got some space in the lane, and Herink wakes up the crowd here with the jam. He's been waiting to do that at home. Milosewicz, cross-court pass over to Cron. Cron drives the baseline, kicks it out. Herink swats it away. Eau Claire North will keep the ball. They'll have to restart the offense. 3:29 left in the first quarter. Eau Claire North 8, the Hudson Raiders 7. Cron will inbound. Taken away by Herink. Herink kicks it over to Steph Smith, and here comes Hudson. Sparstead over to Kelly. Kelly back to Sparstead. Steph Smith in the corner. Wide open look. Can't get it to fall down to rebound to Eau Claire North. Huskies taking their time here. 3 minutes left in the first quarter. And they'll get it over to the elbow. Nice open look there for Cron. Can't get it to go. The rebound, Matthew Sparstead. Sparstead to Kelly, and Kelly will bring it up the floor. Back to Sparstead, over to Steph Smith in the corner. Mork in the post. Mork making himself some room. The turnaround is blocked. Eau Claire North will come up with the ball, and they push it. Pull up two for Weeks. Can't get it to go. The rebound to Herink, gets it to Kelly. Kelly's going to slow it down. Over to Steph Smith, top of the key. Now down to Herink. Herink works his way into the post. He gets the basket. The Raiders retake the lead at 9-8 with 2:19 left. Exciting first quarter of basketball here in the East Gym. Claire North trying to work it down into the post. Hecox. Now Milosewicz. Kicks it over to Weeks. Hecox pushes him away. Offensive foul. It'll be Raider basketball. little push off there, and it was easy to see. It was kind of out in the open, and when you push off like that, out in the open, you're just inviting a call. First team foul for Eau Claire North. First personal on Hecox. Joe Kelly has entered the game for the Raiders, number 2. Jordan Bellinger there has also just come in. 3-point attempt there by Herink, and it won't fall in. Eau Claire North with an opportunity here to retake the lead. Wide open look under the basket. It'll be Raider basketball as Isaac Mousel loses the handle. Miles Lewis has also entered the game for the Raiders, number 22. Joe Kelly to Lewis. Lewis to Herink in the post. And Herink's going to be called for a travel. Tried to get it to Bellinger. Bellinger knocked down the shot, but will be all for naught. Cron will bring the ball up the floor for Eau Claire North. Defended by Joe Kelly. Herink playing some pretty tight defense on Josh Weeks, and Weeks will have to call a timeout. A pretty solid first quarter here for these Raiders. They lead Eau Claire North 9-8. Herink with 6 points and Steph Smith with the 3-pointer to open the game. Eau Claire North won their last conference game a few weeks ago against River Falls, but entered tonight's action with 2 straight losses. They lost to Marshfield and La Crosse Logan, and they're in here tonight looking for a victory before they head out on the road once again for 2 more games. They're at Wisconsin Rapids next Tuesday, and then next Friday at Menominee. Raiders will make another substitution here. Ben Koch about to step in for Hudson. Well, maybe not. Koch will go back to the bench. Raiders come out with Joe Kelly, Herink, Bellinger, Miles Lewis, and Matthew Sparstead. Cron defended by Joe Kelly. Over to Sam Hurt. Now Weeks controls with Herink defending. Sparstead on Hurt. Hurt tries to pull up. Sparstead swats it away. Here's Kelly from the wing. Kicks it back over to Sparstead. Now Miles Lewis to Sparstead. North set up in a 2-3 zone now. Kelly to Herink in the corner. Herink pulls it up, knocks it down, and that's going to end the first quarter. The Raiders with a big 3 from Alex Herink and a 9-point quarter for Alex Herink. Gives the Raiders a 12-8 lead as we go to the break. We will be right back with second quarter action. Second quarter about to get underway, and as we mentioned, Herink with 9, Steph Smith with 3 in the first quarter. For Eau Claire North, Josh Weeks has 3, Cron with 2, and Alec Hecox with 3. So we're at 12-8 Raiders. Eau Claire North will get the ball to start this second quarter. Sam Hurt to inbound for the Huskies. Gets it to Miloskowitz. Miloskowitz defended by Bellinger. Raiders playing man-to-man here. They played a lot of zone against River Falls last week. Coming out man-to-man here against North. Bellinger steals it away. They were looking for Miloskowitz in the post, and Bellinger just stood out in front, took the ball away. Kelly Down to Herrick in the corner, gets it to Bellinger in the post, back out to Kelly, now over to Sparstead. Here's Herrick driving the baseline, can't get the jumper to fall in, and North will come up with the rebound, trying to work it down to Weeks, defended by Herrick. Weeks wants to clear out, gets it over to Hurt now. He'll set a pick for Cron. Cron's going to try to take it baseline, runs out of room, kicks it back out for Weeks. Weeks picks up a pick. Nice look over there to Miloskowitz. He's swatted away. Bellinger and Herrick. Alex Herrick has come out explosive here in this basketball game, playing it from both ends, defense and offense tonight. I think these Raider basketball players are a little tired of losing. Herrick down to Bellinger. Bellinger, nice look to Miles Lewis. Miles Lewis is blocked, but he will get a foul and head to the line. You could really see some frustration setting in on this team last week when we were at River Falls, and they're playing like they're sick of losing tonight. Coming out very fired up this evening. Miles Lewis hits the first. Gives the Raiders a 5-point lead. 13-8 with 6:40 left in the second quarter. And he will miss the second. Eau Claire North comes up with the rebound. Cron will bring the ball up the floor for the Huskies. Cron over to Weeks, who may have traveled. Swatted away there by Joe Kelly, and Eau Claire North will reset the offense with Cron. Miles Lewis sticks his hand in there. Sparstead defending Hurt. Get it over to Weeks. Now Cron pulls up from the free throw line. Can't get it to go. The rebound, I believe, will go to Eau Claire North. I think we've got a foul coming up here on the Raiders. Probably going to be on Bellinger, and it is. So Bellinger will pick up a foul. He's going to come out. Raiders make some substitutions here. Dan Kelly comes back in the game for Joe Kelly. Steph Smith also back in, as well as Todd Mork. Raiders with a pretty big lineup here. North will take it to the rack, but Steph Smith comes up with a rebound, and Sparstead will bring the ball up the floor for Hudson. There's Dan Kelly. Steph Smith in the corner down to Todd Mork. Mork trying to make some room, runs out of room, and he will travel. It'll be Eau Claire North basketball. Picked up that pivot foot, and right in front of the official. 13-8 Hudson, 5:38 left in the second quarter. Ooh, a couple extra steps there. Here's Hurt trying to get the ball into the post. Nothing doing. Cron over to Weeks. Now back to Cron. Weeks picked up a pick coming around there, but Herrick caught up with him. Miloskowitz now. Over to Weeks, now back to Cron. Hurt from the wing. Three ball, no good. Three white jerseys there. Herrick comes up with a rebound, and Dan Kelly will bring the ball up the floor for the Raiders. He'll get it down to Smith in the corner. Smith pulls up from the baseline. Nothing doing, and Eau Claire North back down the floor. Hurt with the cross-court pass to Miloskowitz. Miloskowitz tries to take it down, then kicks it out to Weeks. Weeks for three, and that will cut the Raider lead back down to 2. Kelly ahead to Steph Smith. Steph Smith pulls up for three. Nothing doing. Eau Claire North comes up with a rebound. They've got a chance to take the lead with a 3 or tie it with a 2, but Smith steals it away. Sparstead now will bring the ball down the floor. Gets it down to Herrick at the post. Herrick with the turnaround. Can't get to go. Pulls the ball down. He's going to be whistled for a foul. Herrick doesn't like the call, but it's his first foul of the night. Third team foul for the Raiders. Another pretty clean game here. Didn't see a lot of fouls last week against River Falls, and haven't had a lot of fouls called in this game either. Huskies give up trying to get in the post. They get to Weeks for three. Bounces away. The rebound, Matthew Sparstead. Sparstead and Smith on the break. Sparstead will pull it back out. Smith pulls up 14 feet away. Can't get it to go. Eau Claire North comes up with a rebound. And made a move into the lane there. Can't get it to go. Knocked away there by Ben Koch. Eau Claire North will reset the offense. What a wild series there. They'll reset. Koch defending McDonald. Now Weeks tries to get something going in the post. They work it down there. Well defended by Todd Mork. Almost throw it away. This time they'll take it baseline, and Smith just didn't get there fast enough. So 13-13 now. Mork for three. No good. And Eau Claire North with an opportunity to take the lead. Raiders have not, actually they've scored 1 point here in this quarter. And a three-pointer for Danny Crone, and the Raiders will call a timeout. The only points the Raiders have put on the board here in the second quarter, and we've played almost 6 minutes of basketball, is one free throw from Miles Lewis. Raiders came out of the gates very fast in that first quarter and seemed to get some momentum by playing pretty quickly, and they've kind of slowed it down here in the second, and it's been enough for Eau Claire North to come up with some baskets. And another thing the Raiders have not done as well here in the second quarter, they just haven't worked it down there for good baskets and settling for some jumpers, and they're not falling in. .220 left here in the second quarter. Possession arrow is in the Raiders' favor. 3 team fouls on Hudson, 2 team fouls on Eau Claire North. I don't think we're going to have anyone going to the line here for bonus shots unless things change pretty quickly. Raiders will make a few substitutions. Herring comes back onto the floor for Hudson. Sparstead over to Dan Kelly. Now back to Sparstead. Eau Claire North sets up the press. Back to Sparstead. Gets it over to Ben Koch. North back into that 3-2 zone. Herring defended tight in the corner. And they'll work it down to Bellinger in the post. And nearly stolen away. Sparstead comes up with it. North is really extending that zone. Get to Herring in the corner. Now Sparstead back to Herring. Herring's going to drive. Kicks it back out to Sparstead. 1:18 left in the quarter. Cross court to Herring. And Ben Koch was called for a foul away from the ball. And that will be a turnover. Koch's first foul of the night, 4th team foul for the Raiders. Steph Smith re-enters the game for Hudson. Koch to the bench. Herring defending Weeks. Tries to set up a pick. Now they get it back to Weeks. And the 3 ball there by McDonald doesn't go. And it should be Raider basketball. 49 seconds left. Raiders trailing 16-13. They led it 12-8 at the end of the first and only have 1 point here in the second quarter. Steph Smith kicks it over to Herrick. Herrick drives, now kicks it out to Kelly. Kelly back to Smith. Smith over to Sparstead. Now Herrick at the top of the key. Work it down to Herrick in the post. Herrick with the reverse layup, can't get it to go. Bellinger tried to follow, knocked away. Sparstead for 3, no good. Bellinger the rebound. Bellinger throws it back up there. The rebound now Steph Smith. 13 seconds left in the quarter. Over to Dan Kelly, 10 seconds left. Kelly's going to work it for a final shot. Get it over to Steph Smith. Bellinger in the post, 3 seconds left. Smith pulls it up, can't get it to go, and that's going to be the quarter. So the Raiders put up 12 in the first and just 1 in the second quarter. Eau Claire North with 8 in the first and 8 in the second quarter. North will go to the locker room leading this game 16-13. Now we usually take a break here at the half, and we will just momentarily, but we've got a special ceremony here at halftime tonight. Craig Urbick will have his number retired. Urbick played on the great offensive line the Hudson Raider football team had back early in this in the 2000s. Was Urbick and Eric Vandenheuvel in 2003. Urbick graduated. He was the class of 2004. Both players went on to play at Madison for the University of Wisconsin. Urbick moved on to the NFL. I believe he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he's now a starter for the Buffalo Bills. And tonight he will have his jersey retired. We'll have that for you here in just a second.
See, I don't know what that is. It's louder when it's closer. You want me to end that call? I
To memorialize Craig Irvick's accomplishments, we're going to welcome current Hudson High School football coach Adam Cowles to the floor, who will be taking the number 60 jersey out of circulation so that we remember the accomplishments that Craig has. So Craig, remember, we're giving him this certificate of achievement.
Do you have a feature for him right now?
By the authority of Hudson High School and upon recommendation from the athletic department and football program, jersey number 60 of Craig Irvick is officially retired on this 18th day of January 2013. On behalf of the Hudson High School, your former teammates, the town of Hudson, we want to thank you for continually giving us pride in our Hudson athletic program. To the Raider Nation, this is their first time here, so we've got flowers to commemorate welcoming her to our Raider Nation. Everybody can stand up. All right. So once again, thank you, and thank you to our volunteers from the AM group, the athletes making progress. Thank you, Craig, for being here, and to our future Raiders, we look forward to recognizing you up here someday. Go Raiders!
Second half about ready to get started here in the East Gym. The Raiders trail Eau Claire North 16-13. Let's go through the scoring. For Eau Claire North, Alec Hecox with 3. Danny Cron with 7, 5 of those in the second quarter. Josh Weeks with 6. For your Hudson Raiders, Miles Lewis with 1. That was the lone point in the second quarter. Alex Herring with 9, and Steph Smith with 3. Your Big Rivers Conference standings: Rice Lake leads the conference 6-0. Eau Claire North 4-2. River Falls 4-2. Eau Claire Memorial 3-3. Hudson 2-4. Menominee 2-4, and Chippewa Falls at 0-6. Raiders have the possession arrow in their favor. They will inbound. Steph Smith will pass it in, looking to get it in to Dan Kelly. And we're ready to go here in the third quarter. Kelly takes it over the timeline, gets it to Mork. Mork over to Steph Smith. Smith will work it down to Herring in the post. Herring pushing him around, gets it to go in. The Raiders back to within 1 after the bucket from Alex Herring. Cron will bring the ball up the floor for North. Here's Weeks. Weeks tried to work it down to Miloskowitz. Miloskowitz had position, but the Raiders able to knock the ball away. Miloskowitz looking for a foul, didn't get one. Here comes Dan Kelly. Kelly over to Smith. Smith down to Mork at the elbow, kicks it over to Sparstead for 3, and it rims out. The rebound, Miloskowitz, and here comes North. Get it ahead to Hurt, now back over to Cron. Cron pulls up from the free throw lane, can't get it to go. Rebound to Todd Mork. Mork to Dan Kelly. Kelly will bring the ball up the floor uncontested. Cron picks him up. Now over to Steph Smith. North in the 2-3 zone. Sparstead from the wing. Back over to Kelly. Back to Sparstead, down to Herink in the post. Herink has tried that move a couple times. This time gets it to go, and the Hudson Raiders retake the lead 17-16 with 6:28 left in the third quarter. Weeks is going to be called for a travel. Good call, and Hudson will take over possession. They'll inbound from right in front of the Eau Claire North bench. Sparstead will inbound. Dan Kelly to take the ball, and Eau Claire North has set up their press. Back over to Kelly. Kelly kicks it up to Steph Smith. Now over to Herink. Almost has it stolen away. Sparstead to Mork. Mork from just inside the three-point line. Can't get it to go. Rebound Herink. That's good. The Raiders out to a three-point lead now. 3 straight baskets for Alex Herink to start this third quarter. The Raiders were trailing by 3. Now they lead by 3. Over to Weeks for 3. Can't get it to go. Rebound Mork. And Sparstead will bring the ball up the floor for the Raiders. Over to Kelly, now over to Steph Smith. And turnaround there for Herink, and Herink is fouled by Miloskowitz. North is running that 3-2 zone defense, and Herink's been running back and forth along that baseline all night long. They let him get in there behind the defense. Herink knocks the first one down. Herink with 7 points already here in this third quarter. It's the only 7 points scored by either team. Call it 8. Raiders 8-0 to start this third quarter, and they now lead it 21-16. Cron will bring the ball up the floor for North. Looking for some room in the lane. Stolen away by Herink. Sparstead comes up with it. Sparstead's going to push it. Take it down the lane, but can't get the lay-in to go in. And North will come back with the basketball. Here's Weeks, picked up by Herink. Kicks it over to Cron, now over to Hurt. Hurt over to Hecox. Hecox back over to Cron, pulls up from the elbow, can't get the fall in. Herink fought for the rebound. Eau Claire North came up with it. They call a timeout. They will keep the basketball. Second timeout of the game called by Eau Claire North. So 5:01 left here in the third quarter, and the Raiders, led by Alex Herink, have retaken the lead. They've got it 21-16. Eau Claire North has the basketball. They have yet to put any points in the bucket here in this quarter. Herink had 9 in the first quarter, none in the second quarter, and 8 already here in the third. 17 points, he's your leading scorer in the game. North will inbound from near the corner. Will be Hecox. And he gets over to Weeks. It's knocked away by Herink. Herink's done a nice job defensively against Weeks, who is Eau Claire North's leading scorer. He's got 2 3-pointers, and that's all he's really been able to accomplish. Here's Cron, defended by Kelly. He picks up a pick. Will swing it around to Hurt in the corner. Hurt can't get it to go. Rebound goes to Mork, and he gets it over to Kelly. Raiders will bring the ball up the floor. Sparstead from the wing, back over to Kelly. Now back to Sparstead. Gets it to Herink. Herink had plenty of room. It gets it to go. 10 points for Herink here in the third. He has all 10 points scored by both teams. Hurt in the corner. Wide open there is Hecox. Hecox can't get it to go. Todd Mork tried to tip it to himself, but unable to do so, and Eau Claire North will retain possession. 4:14 remaining in the third quarter. It's the Hudson Raiders 23, Eau Claire North 16. Joe Kelly will come in for Sparstead. Miles Lewis comes in for Mork. Raiders playing some nice defense. Herring tried to swat it away, battling for it, and I think he's going to get called for a foul. Raiders have certainly picked up the intensity on defense. Herring whistled for the foul. That's his second. Team foul number 1 here in the second half. Isaac Mousel will enter the game for Eau Claire North. Miles Lewis defending. They get it into Weeks. Weeks, well, I don't know how he wasn't whistled for a foul there. Raiders got away with one. Try to work it down to the post once again, and Miles Lewis comes up with the ball. Kelly over to Steph Smith, now back to Joe Kelly. Now over to Dan Kelly. Steph Smith working it down to Miles Lewis, and Kelly loses the handle. That's a good foul there by the Raiders. Isaac Mousel had a nice look at a layup, and the Raiders weren't going to let it happen. Kelly whistled, but instead of giving an uncontested lay-in, it's a good foul. And it's even better foul now that Mousel misses the first. Misses the second as well, and the Raiders come up with the rebound. So no harm done on that turnover, and Dan Kelly will bring the ball up for Hudson. Over to Joe, now to Herrick in the corner. Herrick back over to Joe Kelly, now back to Herrick. Steph Smith from the opposite side works it down to Miles Lewis. They'll rotate the ball over to Joe Kelly. Kelly goes baseline. It's going to go off of his leg, though, and into the Eau Claire North possession. So Sparstead now will come in for Dan Kelly. Joe Kelly will pick up the defense at the timeline. Weeks defended by Herrick. Weeks going to take it down into the corner. Knocked away, and Herrick comes up with the basketball. Joe Kelly will handle it for the Raiders. Kelly over to Steph Smith. Smith back to Kelly. Sparstead now to Herring for three from the corner. Can't get it to go, and Eau Claire North will come up with the basketball. Mousel pushing it for Eau Claire North. Over to Weeks in the corner. Hecox now from the wing, defended by Miles Lewis. Hecox tries to take it down to the lane. They're going to call him for a travel. So the Raiders come up with a nice turnover there on defense. And North has yet to score here in this third quarter. 2:20 left. Get it over to Steph Smith. Now back to Joe Kelly. Smith from the wing works it down. Back to Smith now. Now back to Kelly. Kelly for three. Bounces it off the rim. And it's going to be knocked away. It'll be Raider basketball. Last touch by Mousel. McDonald will re-enter the game for North. Alec Hecox takes a seat on the bench. Steph Smith will inbound here for the Raiders. Gets it to Kelly. Kelly to Sparstead, now over to Steph Smith. Miles Lewis works it down to Herrick. Back to Smith for three. No good. Kelly swats it away to Sparstead. Sparstead pulls it up for three. Bounces it off the rim, but it will touch a cable, and it's going to be Eau Claire North basketball. 1:35 left here in this third quarter. Raiders lead at 23-16. They've scored 10 in the third quarter. Eau Claire North with nothing. Mouse will work it to Weeks. Back over to Cron now and back to Weeks. There's McDonald. Back to Cron, defended by Miles Lewis. Lewis sticks a hand in there. Now Cron's going to take it baseline. Ben Lawrence came up with a rebound and the follow. Could have been an offensive foul or a defensive blocking on that drive, but the officials have really kind of kept the whistle in their mouth tonight and really hesitant to blow the whistle. That foul was called on Herink, by the way. Lawrence misses the first, and Eau Claire North has still yet to score here in the third quarter. It's their second trip to the line. They're 0 for 3 from the free throw line here in the third. And Lawrence will score and put a point on the board for North for the first time here in the third quarter. They went 6:59 without scoring here in this quarter. Herink came out with 3 fouls. 52 seconds left in the quarter. Herink has the only scoring for the Raiders here in the third quarter. He has all 10. Get to Miles Lewis, now over to Kelly. Kelly works it down to Bellinger. Bellinger swatted away, and Eau Claire North will bring the ball up the floor with 35 seconds left. Weeks now defended by Steph Smith. 30 seconds left on the clock. 23-17 Hudson over Eau Claire North. Looks like Weeks is holding for the last shot here. 11 seconds remaining in the quarter. Defended by Steph Smith, and now Weeks is going to make something happen. Tried to turn around, ball comes loose. Fires it down to Lawrence, and Lawrence loses the handle. The Raiders will have 1.2 seconds with which to do something here. They lead by 6. They'll get to Sparstead. Sparstead fires and swatted away. But the Raiders, with a very nice third quarter, they outscore Eau Claire North 10-1. All 10 points for the Raiders coming by way of Alex Herink. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter about to get underway. Eau Claire North will take possession first. So once that ball is inbounded, the Raiders will have the possession arrow in their favor. They outscored Eau Claire North 10-1 there in the third quarter. They were outscored 8-1 in the second quarter, but that 4-point lead ending the first give the Raiders a 6-point lead right now at 23-17. Cron will bring the ball up for Eau Claire North, defended by Dan Kelly. Miloskowitz defended by Mork. Here's Weeks defended by Steph Smith. Weeks will take it down the lane. We're going to wave the basket off, but they will call a foul on Steph Smith. That's Smith's first. Raiders staying in that man-to-man, but they've moved Herink over to defend Hecox, try to keep the whistle away from him. Nice jump step move there by Cron. He gets the follow, but the pull down from Steph Smith, and Smith is fouled by Hecox. So they'll call the foul on Crone. Second team foul, or fourth team foul on the Raiders. I'm sorry, second team foul on Eau Claire North. First on Crone. Dan Kelly over to Steph Smith. Smith back to Kelly. Kelly over to Sparstead, now to Herink. Herink works it down to Mork. Mork making some room, can't get it to go in. And Eau Claire North will come away with the basketball. Danny Cron kicks it over to Hurt. Sam Hurt, defended by Kelly. They'll work it down to Miloskowitz in the post. Steph Smith on Weeks. Weeks for 3, and he gets it to go. Weeks with a 3 in the first, a 3 in the second, and now a 3 here in the fourth. And Eau Claire North has pulled it within 3 at 23-20. 6:35 left in the contest. Cross-court pass over to Sparstead. Raiders work it to Herink. Herink down to Mork. Mork cross-court over to Steph Smith. Smith's going to drive. Nice little move down there in the paint, but can't get to go in. And Eau Claire North with an opportunity to tie it up with a 3. Crone over to Miloskowitz for 3. It's well short. Sparstead with the rebound for Hudson. Gets it over to Kelly. Kelly works it down to Sparstead, over to Herink now. Herink in trouble. Back out to Sparstead. Steph Smith to Herink. Herink back out to Steph Smith. Steph Smith for 3. Gets it to go. And the Raiders retake their 6-point lead, 26-20. Hudson over Eau Claire North with 5:40 left in the fourth quarter. Crone defended by Kelly. Weeks now with Steph Smith on him. Over to Hurt. Now to Hecox, defended by Herink. Get it over to Hurt. Sparstead on Hurt. Raiders now in a 3-2. They'll work it down. Todd Mork knocks it away. And they're going to call Crone for a travel. Slams the ball to the court, and he's very close to getting a technical foul. The officials just told me better settle it down. (26-20) Hudson. 5:08 left in the game. Herink over to Sparstead. Tried to get it to Bellinger, but it's stolen away by North. North brings it up the court. And that's going to be Hecox. He gets it to go, and he's fouled. The basket will count, and he'll go to the line for an extra one. The foul on Bellinger, that's his second. 5th team foul for Hudson. And Hecox gets that one to go, and Eau Claire North is pulled back to within 3. Kelly ahead to Herink. Herink over to Steph Smith. Smith for 2. Can't get it to go. Going to have a foul under the basket here. They called it on Sparstead, and that will be the Raiders' 6th team foul. Nope, called it on Hecox. Raiders will keep the ball. Saw number 10. I had the wrong number 10. Here's Kelly over to Sparstead. That was the 3rd team foul on North. 3 ball for Smith. Gets it to go, and once again, Hudson stretches that lead out again. Two 3-pointers for Smith here in the fourth quarter. That was Hurt for 3. Couldn't get it to go. The rebound for Herink. And Kelly will bring the ball up the floor, trying to draw a foul, and he does. Head coach Jason Swavely will call a timeout for Hudson. Crone not happy with the foul call there. It's the 4th team foul on Eau Claire North. The Raiders still have a few more to pick up before they're going to get sent to the line, but they lead it now 29-23. 4:19 remaining. Let's look at the scoring. Hecox with 6 for North. Crone with 7. Weeks with 9, and Ben Lawrence with 1. For the Raiders, Miles Lewis with 1, Herink with 19, and Steph Smith with 9. The Raiders have this game here. This is a Friday night basketball game. Their next game is at home, January 22nd, a Tuesday night against New Richmond, and we will have coverage of that game here on the River Channel. Game after that, they will play Friday the 25th, I believe. That's a game with Stillwater again here at home. And then they will be playing at home once again Tuesday the 29th against Menominee, and that game will be covered by the River Channel. We're set here, Raider basketball. Steph Smith will inbound from right in front of the Hudson bench. Dan Kelly looking to get the basketball on the other side of the floor, but Eau Claire North appears to be ready to defend this. They'll try to get it to Herink, lazy pass, but Kelly comes away with it. The Raiders very fortunate to come away with the basketball there. Sparstead back over to Kelly. And now Kelly will throw it away. Sparstead zigged. Kelly thought he was going to zag, and it's a turnover for the Raiders. Lead it by 6 with 4:03 left in the game. Here's Crone over to Weeks. And they'll try to work it down, but stolen away by Kelly. Tried to get it to Crone, who was trying to slip behind the defense. Sparstead back over to Kelly. Smith to Bellinger. Bellinger working it down in the paint to Herink, and Herink draws a foul. They'll call that on Crone. That's his third. 5th team foul on Eau Claire North. Steph Smith inbounds to Herink. Herink over to Kelly. Now Sparstead will control for the Raiders. Gets it to Herink at the elbow. Herink's going to work it down into the paint. Little turnaround, can't get it to go, and Eau Claire North comes up with it. Push it to Miloskowitz. Steph Smith steps in front of him. He'll be called for the foul. The basket will not go in, but Miloskowitz will go to the line. Second foul on Miloskowitz. 6th foul on the Raiders. Eau Claire North will be in the bonus the next time they're fouled. Miloskowitz steps up and misses the free throw. He averages 6.4 per game, has not scored yet tonight. Not exactly the most graceful free throw for him either. And gets the second one to fall in. So North to within 5 now. Joe Kelly into the game for Hudson. Both Kelly brothers in there. It's over to Sparstead, now over to Dan Kelly. Miles Lewis also in the game. Raiders with a small lineup out there now. Herink, the only big guy. Dan Kelly trying to work over his man. Nice spin move. Will take it down the lane. He's fouled, but will not be called. Miloskowitz pulls down the rebound, and Eau Claire North will bring the ball up the floor. Here's Crone, defended by Sparstead. Crone's going to take it down the lane, tried to step. Hecox can't get to go. He swatted away the second time, and foul will be called on Joe Kelly. 7th team foul on the Raiders. Second foul on Joe Kelly. Hecox shooting 1-1. That was not a shooting foul, apparently. Hecox hits the first. And gets a second to go in as well. So Eau Claire North back to within 3, and Eau Claire North will call a full timeout here. The Raiders are about ready to check Steph Smith back into the game. But Hecox with 5 points here in the fourth quarter, and that has North threatening. North with 9 points here in the fourth. The Raiders with just 6. All 6 of those points coming from 2 3-pointers from Steph Smith. Alex Herink leads the way for all scorers in this game with 19. but he put 9 in the first. He had 0 points in the second, 10 in the third, and has yet to score here with 2:37 left in the fourth quarter. I'm guessing Coach Jason Swavely is probably trying to put something together right now for Mr. Herrick. So here's our reset. The Raiders have the possession arrow in their favor. They have 17 fouls, so Eau Claire North is in the bonus. Eau Claire North has 2 fouls to give. Raiders with 3 timeouts, Eau Claire North with 2. Kelly over to Dan Kelly. The Raiders will clear out, and Dan Kelly will bring the ball up the floor. North goes to a man-to-man now. Played a lot of zone in this game. Steph Smith nearly loses the handle, gets it back over to Dan Kelly. Steph Smith from the wing gets it to Sparstead. Now to Dan Kelly. Trying to work it down to Herrick in the post. Defended one-on-one. Gets some help from the backside by Hurt. And Eau Claire North with the ball uncontested down the other side. Can't get to go. Miloskowitz can't get the follow to go. The ball bouncing around in there goes to North, and Hurt gets it to go in, and that will cut the lead back down to 1. It's actually Mausel gets it to go in. And Hecox will be called for a foul. That's his third, 6th-team foul on Eau Claire North. The Raiders will be going to the line in the next foul by North. 1:41 left in this contest. Hudson leads at 29-28, and they have the basketball. Joe Kelly will inbound, gets it to Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly, defended by Sam Hurt, gets it over to Sparstead. Sparstead back to Dan Kelly. Now to Joe Kelly and over to Sparstead. Gets it to Herrick in the post. Herrick loses the handle. He's going to be sliding out of bounds. It'll be Eau Claire North basketball. That was exactly what the Raiders wanted to do here. Exactly what the Raiders wanted to do in that man defense is get Herrick one-on-one in the lane, but he just lost control of the basketball, and Eau Claire North will have an opportunity to take the lead in this possession. Crone kicks it over to Hurt. Now to Weeks. Hecox defended by Joe Kelly. Hecox takes it down the lane. Raiders play nice defense. Miloskowitz comes up with it. Kicks it back out to Weeks for 3. Can't get to go in. Eau Claire North comes up with a rebound. Back over to Weeks. And Eau Claire North will call timeout with 52 seconds left. So North calls a timeout. They've got just 1 left. Once again, the Raiders they have the possession arrow in their favor. Both teams will go to the line in a one-on-one situation on any foul. 52 seconds left. Eau Claire North wants to call timeout here. I think it might be when you're trailing here. I don't think you want to hold this for 1 shot, but they did call a timeout. They're going to try to set something up. Raiders entered this quarter with a very nice lead, 6-point lead entering the quarter, but have given up 5 points in that lead. And Eau Claire North trying to get out of here tonight with a win. North 4-2 in the conference. They'd really like to get out of here with a win and keep themselves in the running for a conference title. The Raiders 2-4 in conference, have lost some close games, and they can get a win here. They got Menominee coming up next. That's their next conference game. They can get themselves back in contention here, get themselves back in the thick of things. Dan Kelly defending Cron. Cron's going to take it down the lane. Can't get it to go. The rebound to Hecox. Miloskowitz handles. 40 seconds left in the game. Cron picks up a pick. Get it back over to Weeks, defended by Herring. Weeks across the lane, and they get it to go. Hecox gets it to go. Joe Kelly brings up the floor, 22 seconds left. They get it down to Herring, and Jason Swavely calls timeout. So the Raiders lead it 30-29. Raiders trail 30-29 after the basket by Hecox on the other end of the floor. As we're working the ball down into the post to Herring when timeout was called, but 19 seconds left here in this game. The Raiders are now trailing by 1. But all they need is a bucket here to get the win. Hecox has really led the way for Eau Claire North here in this fourth quarter. He has 7 points. Mousel with 2, Weeks with 3, Miloskowitz with 1. For the Raiders in the fourth quarter, Steph Smith with 6. The only 6 points the Raiders have here in this quarter. Joe Kelly will inbound. Dan Kelly and Sparstead, the other guards. Steph Smith and Herring, the big men. Kelly gets it to Herring. Now over to Kelly. 17 seconds left. And nearly stolen away by Weeks. The ball will go out of bounds. Now 13 seconds remaining. They'll get it to Herring. 12 seconds left. Herring's going to take it himself. Pulls up for 3. No good. Sparstead dives in there for the rebound. They'll say it's Raider basketball. 3.7 seconds remaining. Raider basketball, and Hudson will call a timeout here. Going to have to set something up. Raiders still have 1 timeout remaining. The possession arrow in their favor. And they will go to the line on any foul, but the guys in stripes have been hesitant to call too many fouls here, and it's not been an unfair. They've kind of done it for both teams. But I don't anticipate a foul unless it's a pretty hard foul. Raiders are probably going to get 1 shot if they can get it into the post and get it up there. Maybe they'll have an opportunity for a follow-up if it doesn't go in. But after leading this game for most of the second half, the Raiders now find themselves in a hole. Just under 4 seconds left. Joe Kelly will inbound for Hudson. And Eau Claire North will call their final timeout. Coach Eric Carpenter just wanted to take a look, see what Hudson had set up. They will make it a full timeout and talk this over for a minute. As long as they're talking it over, let's go through the scoring. For Eau Claire North, Mousel with 2, Hecox with 10, Cron with 7, Weeks with 9, Miloskowitz with 1, and Ben Lawrence with 1. For Hudson, Miles Lewis with 1, Herring with 19, and Steph Smith with 9. Then a back and forth contest. The Raiders led at the end of the first quarter 12-8, but then only put 1 point in the basket in the second quarter. Went to the locker room trailing 16-13. Then they allowed just 1 point to Eau Claire North in the third, and Hudson put up 10. And now they find themselves back here in a 1 point hole after being outscored by 7 points here in the fourth. Joe Kelly to inbound. They get it to Herring. Herring Herrick gets the foul. Alex Herrick drew the foul, and Eau Claire North, they are beside themselves. Alex Herrick found a hole in the defense, took the basketball, 1.7 seconds remaining, and Herrick will go to the line for two. Herrick is 2 for 2 from the line tonight. If he hits them both here, the Raiders will have a 1-point lead. On the night that Craig Urbich's jersey was retired, Herrick gets the first to go. On the night that Craig Urbich's jersey was retired, the Raiders trying to get a win against Eau Claire North for the lead. And he misses it. Steph Smith, Miloskowitz will throw it down the floor. No good, and we're going to overtime. Herrick hit the first, bounced the second off the back of the rim, and we are going to overtime. First overtime game of the season here on the River Channel. Had some exciting contests. Unfortunately, most of the games we've covered this season have not gone the Raiders' way, even though they've been plenty competitive. So 30-30 at the end of regulation. We'll play a 4-minute overtime, and we'll be right back with that overtime. Overtime about to get set, and we'll re-tip the basketball. Will be Herrick and Miloskowitz in the ring. Herrick won the opening tip of the game. He's got an inch or two on Miloskowitz, and he's got some vertical leap on him as well. Herrick tips it to Steph Smith, Raider basketball. 4-minute period here for overtime. Dan Kelly brings the ball up the floor for Hudson. Over to Sparstead. Sparstead looking to get it to somebody, gets it to Dan Kelly. Raiders probably going to try to work it down to Herrick. Joe Kelly over to Dan Kelly. And Kelly tried to swing it over to Herrick. Got past Herrick and the other Kelly brother, and it'll be Eau Claire North basketball. Tied at 30, 3:28 left in overtime. Cron will bring the ball up the floor for North. Gets it over to Hurt, now over to Weeks. Cron to Weeks. Weeks from the wing. Back over to Cron. 3:06 left in overtime. Cron defended by Dan Kelly. Over to Weeks, defended by Steph Smith. Sam Hurt with the basketball. He'll reset. North in no hurry. Cron works it down to Weeks. Nice look. And Eau Claire North with a 2-point lead. 32-30, Eau Claire North in overtime. Joe Kelly over to Dan Kelly. Now to Steph Smith, who works it down to Herrick. Herrick gets it in there. Tie basketball game, 32 apiece. Herrick with a nice lay-in. 2:17 left in overtime. Here's Cron down to the baseline, and they're going to call a blocking foul on Dan Kelly. That will send Cron to the line. Second foul on Kelly. Cron goes to the line for a 1-and-1. Gets the first one to fall in, and North to a 1-point lead, 33-32. It's the second one as well, and Eau Claire North back out to a 4-point lead, or 2-point lead, 34-32, Eau Claire North. Joe Kelly to Steph Smith, now over to Dan Kelly. Sparstead thought about working it down to Herink. Now Joe Kelly gets it to Herink. Herink over to Kelly. Nice look. Easy basket for Dan Kelly. Kelly's first bucket of the night. And the Raiders tie it back up at 34 apiece. Eau Claire North likes to come down on Herink. They've been tripling him when he gets the ball. This time the Raiders take advantage of it. Weeks nearly loses the handle. Defended once again by Herink. Herink with 3 fouls on him. No danger. 1:19 left in the contest. And Cron has the ball swatted away. Eau Claire North will keep possession. 1:15 left in overtime here. 34-34. Weeks to Miloskowitz. Miloskowitz defended by Steph Smith. Now Weeks with Herink defending him. Cron with Dan Kelly on him. Sparstead on Hurt. They'll work it over to Cron. Cron's going to take it into the lane, lays it up and in, and Eau Claire North back to a 2-point lead. Raiders work it down to Herink. Herink in trouble, gets it to Steph Smith for 3. Short, Herink rebounds, and it's going to be Cron that comes up with it. He's able to call a timeout before he loses his footing. Eau Claire North will have the basketball in a 2-point lead with 33 seconds left. Raiders are going to be in a spot here where they're going to have to foul. Herring tried to save it, but pass was a little errant, and Eau Claire North would come up with it. Raiders with 18 fouls, so their next foul will send North to the line for just a 1-and-1. 2 more fouls before they get into the double bonus. Possession arrow is in Eau Claire North's favor. Eau Claire North out of timeouts, the Raiders with 2 left. Once again, the Raiders trying to get to 3 and 4 in the conference. Eau Claire North trying to improve their conference mark to 5 and 2. So the first objective here is to steal the ball away, but if you can't steal it away, the Raiders are going to have to foul. Mousel will inbound for Eau Claire North. He'll get to Crone. And Mousel with the basketball. Now back to Cron, 25 seconds left. Raiders trailing by 2. They're going to have to foul. And now they will wave off the shot. That's a good call to wave it off. But Miloskowitz will go to the line for 2. Raiders allowed 15 seconds to come off the clock there before they fouled. Miloskowitz goes to the line for a 1-and-1. He is 1 for 2 tonight from the line. Missed the front end of a 2-shot sequence in the fourth quarter. Hits that one. 37-34, Eau Claire North. And if he's able to knock this one down with just 14 seconds left, the Raiders are going to be in some trouble. Jason Swavely will call a timeout for Hudson. Raiders will still have 1 timeout remaining, but they trail now 37-34, and Miloskowitz still has 1 shot from the charity stripe. So after this game, Raiders will step into their non-conference slate. You got 2 home games coming up. Tuesday night they play New Richmond, and Friday night they've got Stillwater. River Channel will have coverage of that New Richmond game next week. So Miloskowitz back to the line here, and if he hits this one, it's going to make it pretty difficult for the Raiders. But not impossible. And he hits it. Raiders trail 38-34. Raiders going to have to put something up. Sparstead for three. He got fouled, didn't get the call. Loose ball under the basket. Raiders will keep possession, but just 5 seconds left on the clock. Raiders down 4, 5.4 left in the game. Joe Kelly to inbound. Dan Kelly open on the wing over here. Tries to get it to Herink. Herink pulls up for three. Bounce it off the rim. The rebound, Steph Smith. He can't get it to go, and that's your final. So the Raiders, after coming out firing in the first and third quarter, done in tonight by their second and fourth quarters. Eau Claire North escapes the Hudson's East Gym 38-34. So once again, another hard-fought battle in front of the River Channel camera, but unfortunately, another loss for the Raider basketball team. We'll have coverage of the New Richmond game next week. It's a 38-34 Eau Claire North win over our Hudson Raiders. For my cameraman, Johnny Watkins. I always mess up his last name. I'm Chris Larson. Thanks for watching. We will see you next week.